back with another video. So I'm trying to do different videos each day, and I was going to look for work today, but you know, the more I think about it, it just gets to be overwhelming. So I need to be able to put a plan together and contact people, and it takes a lot of time to do that. And the problem is that I work a shitty job during the week, so it's very difficult to look for work when you're working, okay? So the only thing I can really think of doing is coming back on some of the people that I've contacted before and kind of reach out with them, and then also just, you know, get a source reference and just move from there. I'm doing what I can to get my life back together. I do realize I'm going to have to move out eventually. I don't think he's going to be the first one to move out, so because he's never the first person to do anything like that. But I would rather wait to move out until I find another job. If it takes that long, then after a certain period of time, because I'm getting antsy, I need something to change, like, right away. I'm not comfortable knowing that, you know, he's a perp, and that his mom's a perp, and then the desire for me to separate myself from everybody who's done this to me, it's very important that I move on. So, you know, it's better for my mental well-being to not have anything to do with any of the people that I used to know. It's unfortunate because, you know, like I said, you know, I enjoyed cohabitating with him. I mean, it was very relaxed here. It was very chill. I mean, like, you know, I felt comfortable, you know, and it's like, okay, everything's completely different now. Now, mind you, that whole thing with his mom, I always knew he was kind of, I never expected him to take care of me, but it was a very relaxed home environment for the most part, especially, you know, since we didn't have any kids running around here, so it was somewhat nice, I guess, but it is what it is, so it's time to move on. But, you know, if I have to move on, then I'd like to hurry up and get on with it as soon as possible. So, you know, I keep thinking, okay, well, now that I'm in an environment that has basically demonstrated how they feel about me and what is going to happen to me now. You know, those things are constantly in the back of my mind. And I know, you know, people think, well, maybe you can just be like, forgive and forget. Yeah, but, I mean, you know, hey, you know, it certainly changes. It changes your perspective of things. Also, you know, I was thinking yesterday about Valentine's Day. Now, he bought me a Valentine's Day card. Like, you know, he's the kind of person, he's two-faced, okay? Like, I know that he thinks I'm gonna, like, somehow fall for it. I'm not falling for it. But I did keep it, you know, and I put it in a little box like I always do and whatever. But then I let him know that I'm onto this, or I have my suspicions. Told him I didn't want to talk about it or whatever. And so my point is that, you know, some people might think, well, you know, are you going to go out and find someone else? I don't think so. I really don't think so, because I know I've mentioned this before, but I don't believe in monogamy. I don't believe in it. I don't believe it's natural. I don't think it's natural. I really don't. And I don't really see myself getting married again. If I ever really was legally married, I don't really know anymore. But I don't really see myself getting married again. And some people think, well, are you going to date people? I have no idea. I really don't think so. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not a top priority for me. Right now, my biggest priority right now is for me to feel safe, okay? I don't even know if I'm ever going back to school anymore. I don't know what's going to happen to me. You know, all I know is that the way I look at it, the way I project it, that I have a few working years of my life, and what happens now at this point, I don't know. Because, see, I was going to go back to school 4 years ago, and all of this happened. Like, it was 2014, yeah. So, sorry, 3 years ago, everything just kind of fell apart, and it's like, you know, I don't know what to expect anymore. And all of this happened, and it just, I mean, I'm at a point right now where it's like, well, I have to accept the fact I can't be a certified public accountant. The time is just, they've taken up too much of my time, and it's like, well, what do? The only thing I can do is go back to doing office work. That's all I can do. I have no other, and to think that I can go above that is not going to happen, because I don't know what to do with anymore. My hands are tied. You know, these people have really trampled on so much of my plans, so much of my goals. And the way that I feel after all of this, it's impossible for me to feel like the need to take on that kind of romantic relationship thing when I don't really believe in it. I don't believe in, I don't believe in monogamy. I don't. So it would be kind of pointless. So some people will say, well, why don't you just party up and live it up? That's not who I am. I don't know really where any of that fits into my life. Now, that's not to say I might meet somebody and that might change. I'm not saying that's absolutely 100% impossible, because, but you know, I'm thinking, okay, I'm the kind of person, now that I'm thinking about it, this person would have to be very cultured. They'd have to be, and some people think, well, that's a direct contrast from what Piggy was. Well, I liked about Piggy was we used to drink a lot, okay? And so, of course, as I got older, I didn't drink anymore, and I really wasn't into just sitting on the couch all the time. I mean, but it still somehow worked, okay? Because there's plenty of space here, and I can always go in my room. And you know, the times we did talk, it was kind of funny. We always kept it light, and I enjoyed the banter. I don't know what the future holds. As far as like friendships, I keep thinking, girlfriends? Am I ever going to have girlfriends? I have to be realistic, and probably not. Probably not. Not after all of this. I mean, you know, once this happens, you pretty much go into seclusion. So my life is going to be very, very solitary, you know. I mean, even more so before, okay, because I can't trust anybody. So, you know, my goals, my plans for the future have completely been shit on. I don't know, I have no point of reference. I see no point in going on with my goals. As far as my projects are concerned, I still have my own personal projects, okay? I still have those. But I still need to have a sense of well-being. Being here with him and knowing that he's a perp and his mom's involved in this, his aunt's involved in this, and they're connected with all this stuff, and I cannot do it. I need to get away. I need to get away, and especially away from that job that I'm working right now, because the job is just like, to me, was built on something that was dishonest. The job to me is dishonest. I don't like it there. It is creating more problems for me emotionally, so it's better for me to find another job, get out of this situation, and be off to myself. And then I can think on my own and feel better, because my mental well-being is of the utmost importance. I'm not saying that I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to find somebody, but, you know, like I said, I don't believe in monogamy from a biological standpoint, as well as, I mean, I'm realistic, okay, and I'm the kind of person that's just like, I personally, I mean, I understand people have their things, but I'm not comfortable with that. I'm just not, okay? So I don't see, for me, marriage doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't. And some people will say, well, can't you just date a bunch of people? Well, you know, I'm just not one of those people. I'm not a loose person. Just not, you know. And some people are like, well, maybe later. Maybe, but I don't think so. We'll see, you know, but like I said, I don't see how I could ever trust anybody at this point. You know, I'm like, I don't trust people. Just don't. You know, I can't really go into it, but I'm starting to develop like this major disgust and aversion to people's faces because of all the trauma. Seriously, it has really affected me that badly. So I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? I really don't know how, what the future holds for me in that. You know, I don't think so. I don't really think so. I know that I want to do some personal projects that I thought I wanted to extend to other people. I probably will not do that because I need to take care of everything on my own. Anything that I do in this life, I have to rely on myself. I cannot trust other people. Other people cannot be a part of my life at all anymore. As far as building friendships, is that possible? I don't know. I really don't know, because if all this has happened, I'm always going to be a little suspicious and leery. I can't say for sure, but, you know, it's very difficult to feel comfortable after all this happens, you know. So, yeah, my life has changed. It has changed significantly. So, once again, you know, I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. But I know that the one thing is true, and one thing that's really important is for me to have a sense of well-being and to be away from people who have created this, because it's not good for me. It's not healthy, you know. He's, you know, I think he's he's trying to be, nice and decent. We're both being, civil to one another. I think he's a very weak-minded person, but I do also understand he's torn between what his expectations from his family. I'm not a part of that family, and I have the right to say that. I don't want to be a part of it, nor do I want to be a part of this collective group that chose my job. I don't want that job. I don't want it. Okay, it started off bad. To me, it is bad. It's on a bad foundation. It's based on memories and associations with people that I don't want anything to do with, and it's more and more annoying the more I go on and on and on about it. I mean, the more I think about it, it's just not something that I want to do. As far as my career aspirations, like I said, the CPA thing, it's not going to happen. It just isn't, okay? Because if they were expecting me to sit here and crack the books while all of this was going on, I'm very sensitive. I'm intuitive, okay, extremely intuitive. I can't concentrate when people are in my shit. I can't do that. And that's why I was so extremely nervous and everything. And then when people get involved in my life, I don't want things anymore. It just get out of my life, okay? That's just how I am. So these people have pretty much destroyed and taken everything I ever cared about and just completely shit on it, completely. So, no, in 4 years, I will be 50 years old, 50. Okay, now when I left Steve Murray's place, I had all the time in the world. I remember getting registered, and I was ready to go, and then my stupid mother-in-law, well, she's my mother-in-law, but whatever that dumb bitch is, she calls and makes a phone call, and then I end up getting terminated from my position, and then it just got weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder from that point on. Okay, so my point is that I can't make any efforts to grow. I can't do anything at this point, okay? So my hands are tied. So what I have under my belt is what I have under my belt. I can't go any further, okay? And I don't see any point in going any further. So I have to be accepted the way that I am. They have to take my 2 years of college, have to take my 20 years of accounting experience, and they have to take my 10 years of management experience and see what I can do with it. I mean, obviously, I'm more qualified than anybody who got involved in this, so if that doesn't mean anything, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm extremely qualified. Could somebody please give me a break, okay? I need to get on with my life. I have suffered unnecessarily for God knows how long. But, yeah, as far as me being able to do anything in the workplace, I have to be realistic. I mean, this is a very competitive environment. People feel threatened by me. There's a lot of animosity, there's tension, there's jealousy, there's just ridiculous bullshit going on. And, I have to be realistic about this. I mean, there's nowhere I can go that I'm not going to deal with, people expecting or being, kind of weird about me for some reason. You know what I mean? But I still need a regular job, so what am I going to do? And I have to be able to make enough to eat and live and whatever. Sadly, my family, I wish I wasn't born or was never raised in that family, because my life would have been a whole lot better, had I never been in an abusive family. But for whatever reason, I was born into that family. Yeah, but true. So, but they destroyed my life from the time I got out of the womb, and now this is happening. So there's no point in me doing that. As far as my special projects, those are still on board, but like I said, chances I will complete those on my own, only because I don't trust other people's involvement. I kept thinking, well, maybe if I can just keep, select just like one or two individuals on these little projects, then that can work. It cannot work, okay? Because to me, at this point, everybody's a perp. So anything that I do, I'm going to do it on my own. What else? I know that, I'm very grateful that I do have a spiritual connection. If I didn't have, that sense of well-being inside of me, that I would be absolutely lost, okay? My belief is something that keeps me going, and it keeps me strong. Without that, I would be dead by now. I would be dead. So that is important to me. But, right now I'm just, I shake my head at this every day. I'm like, how in the world, I know that, the workplace has become an absolute nightmare for so many people. And there's so many people who start off with so many, dreams and hopes, and some people have great talent, great skills. They can't wait to get that job, and then they end up getting discouraged because of the environment that's, the environment, that platform, that the behavior of other people, and it destroys their life, and it does. It's destroyed my life, and I think it's really unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that this happened, and but it is what it is. You know what I mean? What can I do? I can't go into work for myself. Like I said, I don't have a product or a service to sell. Not that other people probably don't have an advantage of. Like a certified public accountant will have an advantage over me. Now, could I help somebody as far as laws, business laws, and but that's a regular job, okay? That's a regular job. That's like a 9-to-5 job, and that's like an office desk, working human resources or something like that, which I would not want to do exclusively. I like doing both. I like doing the whole business admin type thing. So I don't know how that goes, but right now I can't just like hit the want ads. I need to avoid the want ads, and I need to start from scratch, and that's very tedious to do, but it's something I have to do. So I'm going to have to set some time apart, maybe this weekend, and go ahead and start contacting people that way, the old-fashioned way, but even more old-fashioned than that, because I'm ignoring all want ads. I'm just not even paying them any attention, which is very difficult. So I continue to be treated like the other regardless.